Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome. A Merry Christmas to all of you. 2020 coming to a close. 4 days to go, 5 days to go, whatever way you look at it. And it's the time for us now to plan on that beautiful future. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the last couple of months, in fact, right from the pandemic, from April, we have been doing a lot of shows through webinars, through Facebook Lives, through one-to-one sessions, and trying to help business owners look at the future more confidently. A brief introduction about me for people who are joining in for the first time. My name is Malloy Chakravarti, and I'm the founder of Beyond Red Ocean Consulting. And we are one of the leading business coaching organizations operating from Mumbai. We are the franchise holders of Action Coach Global, which is one of the world's largest business coaching companies addressing the requirements of the SME, MSME business owners. Action Coach was set up in 1994, and for the past 26 years, across 76 odd countries, we try and work with business owners. We don't use the word help, and I'm not here to help you because you are a champion business owner. You're a champion entrepreneur. You have taken that huge step into entrepreneurship. What we bring onto the table, what I bring onto the table, what Beyond Red Ocean Consulting brings onto the table is how do you fulfill that dream that you already have and you're working towards at a much faster pace. So like I said, we have been doing these webinars. I think the first webinar was done on the 2nd or 3rd of April. And since then, we have reached out to thousands of business owners. We work with significant number of business owners, both in the small and the medium sectors, medium scale sectors, with the only objective that the world saw an unforeseen event, or still seeing an unforeseen event, something to the scale that nobody had ever envisaged. We have had crises in the past, whether it was the dot-com crisis or the subprime crisis, or in India specifically, the GST transition. I wouldn't call it a crisis, but it was a transition. The demonetization, again, not a crisis, but a transition. But those were short. You could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it was not so widespread. This is probably the one of the world's crisis, which has not seen any boundaries. It has brought every one of us together. And when we started this season of webinars and Facebook Live, we wanted people to understand, business owners especially, to understand that bad times don't last. We need to last through the bad times. So we created, for our clients, we created 3 pathways. Pathway for survival, pathway for revival, and pathway for growth. And each of them had different connotations. And I'm happy to share that as we come to the end of 2020, we have had huge accolades, and God has been kind that we have been able to get those kind of accolades from our business owners. Just last evening, I was talking to a client whom I've been coaching for the last 5 months now. And we got to know something very interesting. Pre-pandemic, FY20, that closed about 2.5 CR. Small, very small business. Even after being affected by pandemic and shutdowns and other stuff, and they're in Delhi. So Delhi has seen a lot of lockdowns. March 31st, 2021, FY21, would see about a 20-30% growth over that FY20. And I, for one, will not be surprised if our forecasting that we are doing currently is we don't see a 3x growth in FY22 because the foundation has been set. The other side of the coin, the flip side, is a lot of business owners are still in that think mode. We will start planning after we see light, after we have crossed the tunnel. Ladies and gentlemen, please appreciate that the time that we got to plan, the time that we got to introspect is never going to come back. A lot of businesses have started rolling out, and we are all in the process of that growth phase. So a request that came to us from multiple businesses and through the Facebooks and through the LinkedIns and through the WhatsApp messages about asking for help. So I and my team decided that let's run a series for the next 45 days, 6 weeks, where last Facebook Live of 2020, first Facebook Live of 2021, and somewhere in the middle of the month, we would do these Ask Me sessions. Nobody's wanting to get a commitment from you. But if you have questions about your business, and I'm happy to say that we received when we launched this program as on Monday, and today being Saturday, we have 22 questions, 22 people who have reached out to us through the various media. And I'll try and address some of them today, and I'll address some of them next Saturday and hopefully in the forthcoming Saturdays. Please let us know what your challenges are. Maybe you will pick up one thing that can really change your business. So the first question that I'm going to address today is from a gentleman called Mr. Prashant Patel. He mentions that he has been in the manufacturing space for transformers. And he has a very generic question, and that's the reason I picked up on that question, though it was not the first question that we received. And his generic question is, sir, we are a small business of 5 crores. We have been stagnating for the last couple of years. This year you will see a degrowth, which is okay, but not okay. And how do we plan for FY22? So, Mr. Prashant, if you're watching this live, or you can go to the YouTube channels or my Facebook channels and watch this recording, to you and multiple people like you, this is a very generic kind of response that I want to give you. Businesses are won and lost not in the customer's place. It is not won or lost in your offices. It is not won or lost in your factories. Businesses are won or lost in our mind. The content that we have between our 2 ears will determine whether we will succeed or whether we will fail. We first fail in the mind before we fail in the real world. And today, my humble submission to all of you business owners, champion business owners, individuals who are moving in from that employed to the self-employed mode, look at your mindset. What is the self-talk that you're having with your mind? Are you talking to yourself as somebody who's telling you that I am struggling, I don't have people, I don't have business, I don't have money? Or is your self-talk about what is that single number that you're focusing as on 31st March 2022? I met somebody yesterday who has set up a cloud kitchen, and I asked him the simple question: what is that number that you have set for yourself as on 31st March 2022? He said, sir, it's 15 months later. I said, yes, that 15-month later number has to be now imprinted in your mind, and that becomes so sacrosanct that it is like the Mahabharata. It's like the Mahabharata. It is like Arjun, who doesn't see anything else but where he wants to shoot. Look at your mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Set that goal. Start your goal now. It's not your March 21 goal, but March 2022 goal. March 20, FY21 is kind of over. Now whatever we do is to build that foundation for FY22. Now, while you're doing these things, I will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons, 5 things that you should do. 1, look at your sphere of contact around you. Whoever it could be. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be someone you know, it could be your employee, it could be anybody. And check for toxicity level. And I'm making the statement, it's a very powerful statement. Look at the toxicity level of people around you. You cannot afford to live a life of high toxicity. Yes, you would say that there are some people in your life that you cannot shed off. I agree. So that comes in the second point. Learn 2 concepts of life, that is move on and let go. If you can move away from a particular person or a situation, move away. Because you have no business to be in the midst of toxicity. You were not born on this planet for mediocrity. And if people around you expect you to be mediocre, it's time for you to move away. But there will be people around you whom you cannot move away from. In that situation, learn the art of letting go. You have to let go of situations. You have to have the power to say no and the power to shut down noise in your ears. The third thing that you should do is, or you should learn to do, is that in life, you cannot please everyone. So don't try to please people. I am not saying don't become selfish or become self-centered, but fulfill your passions, fulfill your ambitions. And in the midst of fulfilling those passions and ambitions, if some people are offended by you, so be it. So be it. You are driving towards a goal. And in that drive towards that goal, you have to ensure that there will be, or you will realize that there will be people who don't want you to achieve that goal. Now, either you try to please them or try to please yourself. And as far as I am concerned, if the I is never happy, the we can never be happy. So focus on the I. Focus on that I need to be happy irrespective of the people who are around me. It's tough because we are all, sorry to use this phrase, emotional fools. We get emotionally attached to people. We get emotionally attached to projects. We get emotionally attached to situations. We are all emotional fools. Learn to draw that line and say, I will not become an emotional fool. The fourth, your passion. There is no greater motivation in this world than your passion. Do only those things which you're passionate about. Again, some of you may come and tell me that, sir, I am passionate about something, but my constraints don't allow me to follow my passion. I have to do something that I don't want to do. Fair enough. Plan a roadmap that by this time you will start following your passions. There's no greater motivation in this world, ladies and gentlemen, from being passionate. The day your want for success is similar to that last breath of air that you need to survive and not die, that day you will be successful. Success is not easy, but success is not difficult. And the fifth thing is, we all seek advice, and that's true. But do not be surrounded by advisors. You are the king of your kingdom. You need to understand what is right and what is wrong. If you need advisor, have a select few of advisors who follow the same passion, who have the same passion, who want you to be successful. Please understand, there are advisors around you all the time who are looking at their success first than your success. They're looking at their ego fulfillment first than your success. And there is nothing that can be compromised based on your success. So, Mr. Patel, Mr. Prashant Patel, if you're listening to this now or on a recorded platform, whether on YouTube or Facebook, and for everybody else, please work on your mindset first and give yourself a timeline that I will, ladies and gentlemen, never use that word I want. I want is a dream. I will is I will. I will do it whatever comes. When you say I will, the biggest mountains fall flat. The strongest people move away from your path because you have said, I will. So, Mr. Patel, I hope I have answered your question. Moving on to the second question, and that is Mr. Ahmed, who has a retail store for gifting. He wants to understand, how do you improve profitability? Now, Mr. Ahmed, and this is a submission to all of you who are in the retail business, especially retail for handicrafts and other stuff. One of the challenges that I have seen with a couple of my clients is they have gotten equipment. They've gotten probably a statue or probably an ornament at X price, and it's such a beautiful piece of equipment or a beautiful piece of furniture or a handicraft or an ornament that they want to sell it at 10x, which I think is a fair market price. But because of that mindset of wanting to sell it at 10x and not even at 9x, they have held on to that for the past couple of years. I know of one such prospect of mine, or one such connect of mine, was held on to it for the past 2 years and not willing to sell. Now look at three things that are happening. One, the product is lying in your store, occupying space. Calculate the square foot area of that product that is occupying your space and correlate it with the rentals to figure out how much money is stuck there just in terms of rental. Second, that product has a certain cost. Now that cost is the money that you have paid somebody else as a price for that product. Now, till you don't sell that, you will always be, you'll never recover that cost or price in whatever form you may look at it, your cost and his price. So that money is a dead investment. If you could use that money elsewhere, where would you use it? Third, you are getting a regular flow of customers coming into your store. And if this product is lying at a very strategic location, because now what has happened is this client of my, connect of mine has positioned it very strategically so that everyone can see, so that he can sell it off. But nobody seems to buy. Now customers are walking into that store, and every single day and every single customer, they're seeing this product. And they're getting used to it, that here is an old product that has been lying here for so many months probably. And they're building an image about your store, that probably these products don't sell here too much. That mindset of the customer is changing. That probably this is not a store that people frequent very often. Three things are happening, ladies and gentlemen. And you need to now think through and say, how do I correct these three things? Can you put it on a 2x sale? You are looking at 10x, now put it at 2x, 3x. And liquidate that product, release that space, release the cash, change your customers' perception about you, and get in something else which is more prevalent and you can sell. What has happened to my connect is she has gone into a ego journey, that I will not sell it because I don't want to sell it because before 10x. But I told her, madam, but your money is stuck. Let go of that money. Let go of your egos. Because this is what is creating your cash gap. This is what is affecting your cash flows. If you don't have a rolling cash flow mechanism in your system, you have cash gaps. Look at this product. For example, let's put a number to it. It is 100 rupees, for example, that product that this connect of mine had. You have paid this 100 rupees 2 years back to your vendor. And even today, you have not recovered it. This is cash gap, ladies and gentlemen. And this cash gap is affecting your cash flow. And when it's affecting your cash flow, you may be a profitable organization, but your cash flows are getting affected. Now, when there is cash requirement, when there's working capital requirement, either you take a loan, OD, or you bring in your own funds. Now, neither of these are appropriate. So cash gap is the time limit from when you have paid your vendor till whatever conversions you have done with that product and you've sold on to your customer and recovered that money. Cash gap is important. Calculate cash gaps, because cash gap is something that people typically are unaware of, are ignorant of. Then Miss Manisha has asked a question: what should be our marketing plans for post-COVID? Very interesting question, and we will dwell more upon it next time. But the first thing you need to understand is this era is your cheapest era of marketing. And I will split this into two parts. One is how much you're spending in marketing and what are your marketing ROIs. Or even I want to split it in three parts. That the first part being whenever you are in business, never ever cut down on your marketing. That is going to sustain you. You can cut down on everything else, but not on your marketing. People should know that you exist. People should know that here is an organization which is still spending in marketing, which means probably this organization is doing well. Today, if you don't market, your cash flows will be positively impacted 100%. But tomorrow, when you go back into the market and situations are normal, and you go back into the market and you start your marketing activities, two things have happened, ladies and gentlemen. One, your existing customers probably have gone away to somebody else. So your customer acquisition of your previous customers has doubled or tripled or quadrupled, because now you have to go back from zero and you have to tell your customers that we exist. Everyone knows that customer acquisition is 70% more expensive than customer retention. Second, because you have brought down your marketing, your two TOMA and TOMER, top of mind awareness and top of mind recall, have become zero or close to zero. You need to now pull it up. So hence your investment in marketing now will have to be significantly higher, because you need to get into that spike mode. And that is the time you are now going to spend a huge amount of money on marketing. So we have addressed the first point. The second point is cheapest era of marketing. And the third point is on MROIs. Miss Manisha, you will have to hold on to your thoughts for another week. And I will come back to you next Saturday, same place, same time, with answers to not only Miss Manisha, then there's Mr. Rupam, who has asked about team, and then there is Mr. Patel again, who has asked about how do you really grow your profits and sales by 40%. So there are videos of it on my YouTube channel. Please look at the YouTube channel. Please go back to the YouTube channel or on my Facebook and see a lot of important videos that are there. It will really help you transform your business. These are free learnings and you can use them right now. If you want to connect with me, click on the links below and my team will get back to you and we'll set up a 1 hour complimentary conversation with anyone who wants to get into a discussion about his business. If you have any questions that you would want, again, type in the chat box and we will come back to you. But please don't miss the next edition of Facebook Live Ask Me by Coach Malloy Chakravarti. With that, we come to end of today's session, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you a fabulous 2021. Let's celebrate that we have come out of 2020 successfully. Let's celebrate the survival, that we have survived. And now let's look forward to the big picture of 2021 and how do you recoup all your losses that you have made of 2020, and how do we now jump into 2021 and really fulfill our dreams and passions. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Have a fabulous 31st December. Wake up on 1st January as a new year and say, what now? Till we meet again next Saturday, same place, same time. A very good evening and a very happy new year too. Thank you so much.